What is a dead giveaway that you're being cheated on? 1. My ex would sleep with her phone under her pillow. I had an idea it was happening and would keep an eye on this guy's MySpace. Then he posted one of the questionnaire things that were popular at the time. One of the questions was, who did you last kiss? And his answer was my ex. MySpace, Tom had my back. Edit. A lot of you seem to think that she might have been browsing the internet. This was a time before internet was available on your phone. There was nothing to do on a phone other than call and text. Most phones also didn't screen locks with passwords or facial recognition. Anyone could get on your phone, so the best way to avoid this would be hide it. Or sleep with it under your pillow so if someone does try to get it, they wake you up. 2. I had suspicions that my ex was cheating on me for months. One night she invites me out, half-hearted invite, to go drinking with her girlfriends. I decline as I wanted her to have her own friends outside of our relationship. She's all happy and humming, something she never did before. She takes a shower, then I see she's getting all dolled up like I haven't seen in years. Not only that, but she's wearing her sexiest underwear, the stuff she wore to signal she was horny. I simply say, "Why are you wearing that?" And she says, "It's just what I grabbed." So I said, "You know what? Give me a few minutes to get ready. I think I will go out with you tonight." She had a complete meltdown. Starts accusing me of accusing her of cheating, of not trusting her and hurting her feelings. Of course I was a fool and let her play me, and I end up apologizing. But I knew. However, things went down and all knowledge of that kind of left my mind until years after she had left me, and I remembered all the shit and other stuff. Yeah, she was cheating. I've no doubt about it. 3. When they become cagey about things they're normally open about. Have known a couple people who did this. Very open, like to talk about their entire day, would answer near any question. Then suddenly they'd be out on a night with their friend S, and the details of the night could be summed up in a couple words, or there'd be odd gaps in the story while they remember and try to sort through it all. 4. She's having migraines all the time, and John Redcorn, a spiritual healer, has not been able to correct them with 3 to 5 weekly sessions over 12 years. 5. If they cheated on someone to be with you, well, don't be shocked, is all. 100%. A guy I know started seeing his now ex-wife while she was still married to someone else. Then he was shocked when she cheated on him. 6. Here's a fun one courtesy of my dad and his second wife. And the tire tread pattern on the fresh snow in your driveway matches the uncommon tires on your brother-in-law's new work vehicle. Edit. Got way more confused replies than I expected on this. My dad's second wife, not my mother, was having an affair with my uncle, my dad's sister's husband, his brother-in-law, and my dad figured it out after coming home early from work one night and noticing a distinctive tire width and tread pattern in his driveway that matched my uncle's work truck, who had no reason for being there that night. He went inside and asked her if my uncle's name had been there, and she acted surprised and denied it. He then mentioned the tire marks and why he recognized them, and the house of cards promptly crumbled. 7. When they suddenly start taking extra interest in their appearance and getting in shape by going for walks even up to 10 p.m. by the time they return, and they don't answer your worried calls because they had music on with headphones. And when you ask them why they didn't answer, it's because they didn't hear the calls come in despite you having the exact same phone and know that the incoming calls cut over the music. 8. They admit to you they still have feelings for a friend they had romantic history with and continue to spend alone time with, and get upset that you call them an ex. Reality can be whatever they want. When they want to take a break and reevaluate things in the relationship, but in reality they just want to get piped by their ex without feeling any guilt. Someone did that to me once, and I dug a little deeper to find out what was going on because he went from "I like you so much I can't wait to see you again blah blah" to "I'm not ready for this," and his explanation just didn't seem to add up. He finally confessed that he was just using me to get over his ex, and she'd asked to meet up with him the next day, and he wanted to end things with me so he still had the option to do stuff with his ex without guilt. I blocked him straight away. The next day he has the nerve to make a new snap so he can message me and asks if we can try again. Guessing his ex didn't want him anywhere near her either. 9. Funny story, I was in Arizona with my ex, and she had this coke dealer who I was sort of friends with, and I was talking to him about where I could buy a knife. I like knives, and he told me because he thought I knew and was planning to stab the guy at it. To be clear, BC, a lot of people seem confused by this. The coke dealer wasn't the guy she was cheating with. 10. It's happened to me a few times now, and invariably there is a seismic shift in the relationship. I can remember pinpointing the day something changed, and suddenly you aren't being texted first. They're busy and can't hang out as much, and sex almost always stops or becomes very infrequent. The partner seems colder, further away, and less enthusiastic. It's hard to describe, but you can feel something is off. At least, it's always been that way, in my opinion. What's worse is the times when you confront them about the change in the dynamic, and they tell you nothing's wrong, or nothing's changed, and you feel like you're going crazy because you know something off, but you don't want to push it and be needy or clingy, and you suffer silently until you push it or the truth inevitably comes out. 11. You catch them having sex with someone else. It's even worse if they don't stop. I walks in on an ex cheating on me. I stood there in a trance for a second to realize what was going on, and then when I realized we were done, I started getting naked and said, "I just need a minute to get hard and then I'll join in." The guy couldn't get out fast enough and my ex just sat there bawling. I grabbed my essential stuff and walked out. Never saw or heard from her again. 12. When I caught my ex, after 23 years and 3 kids, cheating with a guy she had kissed 25 years prior. Kissing in the car I paid for. And guy wanted to fight me for turning up while he was kissing my wife. When I started getting the better of this guy, my wife yelled at me for punching her friend. When he did try to run away, and I kicked his legs out from under him so he went down hard on the concrete, there was a split second when I thought about stomping on his head, and I thought of my kids, and the possibility of me going to jail for hurting this loser. I got back in my car and drove home to my kids. When we officially split about 6 months later, which involved police removing her from the house, her being pepper sprayed for trying to buy police, the kids stayed with me. 13. When you finally get off of work early for once after working doubles, and instead of texting your boyfriend that you're on your way home, you stop and get their favorite McDonald's meal and iced coffee with your last $10 until payday is a sweet surprise "I'm home, I love you" gesture. And you're greeted in the hallway with them coming towards you with a shocked and angry look saying "You were trying to catch me doing something," as you're standing there holding the food and drink in your hands like, "We were together 6 years before I got the guts to leave." It was only a couple weeks after that happened. 14. Changing passwords to devices after being okay with you having access to them. Lack of intimacy over long stretches of time. No longer wanting to sleep next to you at all. Go on dates, or do anything a couple would usually do. And my biggest flag is finding things that you're damn sure aren't yours, but they try to pass the item off like it's always been yours. I'll never have solid proof that I was cheated on, but my instincts were screaming it when our sex life went away. Then he wanted to sleep on the couch every single night. Then he started changing his passwords as my paranoia kicked in. First fight happened at this point. Next came him keeping me out of photos on purpose that he would share on his social media accounts, just in case people thought we were dating, which we were. That was when I caught him talking to someone through PS4 and online. She thought he was single. Fight 2 happened then and I was in denial because he was gaslighting me so much. It escalated to him wanting to be gone every weekend to a buddy's house, and I was never allowed to come along, and eventually, I found makeup in my car after one of those pal weekends. I don't wear makeup unless it's a special occasion, usually, and when I do wear it, it's only around my eyes so I know this didn't belong to me as it was lip gloss. Final fight and we didn't stay together. To everyone out there, it usually starts small and gets bigger over time. Trust yourself to see the signs and leave. I was in the hospital for 10 days. When I got home there were a bunch of empty Coors Light cans on my bedside table. I don't drink beer. She ran off with Mr. Coors Light and left me and the kids, including her kids from a previous relationship. 15. When you find incriminating messages, and the first thing she asks you is how far you went back into the message history. She proceeds to get mad at you for violating her trust by looking at her computer even though you asked her several times, calmly and patiently, to be honest about the situation because you felt like you were going crazy. When the divorce process starts, and she decided to call you at work and tell you can't prove anything but I let her know I took phone pics of the conversations. She flips out. When I move out and her ex-high school BF, moves in right after. Month our divorce became final. They get married 3 months after. They have a child shortly after that. Anyhow, thank God it happened, because while the feeling sucked and felt unsurvivable, I dodged a big ass bullet, and my current GF of several years now is wonderful. And I really do feel like everything had to happen for me to end up where I ultimately needed to be. 16. I had a cool odd crazy shitty experience. I talk in my sleep, and one day, 3 months before we were to get married, I had a nightmare about my ex cheating on me with a guy I worked with, and I actually woke both of us up mumbling some shit about it. When I told her what my dream was, she got KG. So I checked our cell phone bill and found out that she had been texting that very same guy non-stop for weeks. I confronted her and she admitted to cheating on me with him. The dream set me free. What's also funny is that I don't recall having any kind of trust issues with him and her when we hung out, but something inside me apparently did.